Hi, it's John here. Delighted to be with you tonight in Edmonton. I'm sorry I can't be there live in person, but we're in the middle of preparations for the first major summit, checking in among heads of state and government on the Sustainable Development Goals and many related meetings around that in New York at the UN General Assembly. So it's a difficult time to travel, but really a crucial time to check in and an honor to be with you tonight. It's also an honor because this is such a special theme that's being celebrated tonight by Change for Children. The question of hope is a major one for all of us right now, and what are the sources of hope? This is obviously a difficult time in the world with so many sources of hope that might be fraying both internationally and at home. But in my view, there are many sources of hope that are growing underneath and often succeeding in plain sight. And we have to remember those and foster them and nurture them in order to keep growing the sources for ourselves and for the future. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, I work on these things, the Sustainable Development Goals, which all countries agreed to in 2015 to set a generational agenda for economic, social, and environmental prosperity up to 2030. Crucially, these are goals that were set in Canada by a conservative government and signed on by a conservative government, and have been pursued by a liberal government, which reflects exactly the core idea, which is that this is a nonpartisan agenda, something we have to remember during a political season like right now. This is a vision to improve the lives of people around the world, to tackle poverty, to tackle inequality, to tackle exclusion, to promote sustainability and survival of the planet, to promote jobs for the future, to promote sustainable infrastructure, and to build the society that we need to see. Underneath all of that is a promise to leave no one behind. And that's a really important promise in my view, because it's not just a promise to do better overall, but it's a promise to get specific in thinking about who's getting left behind, for what reasons, in what places. And even in Canada, we have many people who are getting left behind in many places, often for multiple reasons. And so these goals are a galvanizing thought for the world, for all of us to do better through cooperation and collective action, as this organization works so hard to do every day, but also to work on our own problems at home. Why is this a positive to me? It's a positive because I see so many people around the world who are trying to do this. I see so many people who are working to make these goals their own. This isn't about the grand poobahs getting together in New York or at any big conference or the G7 or the G20 or the General Assembly. Ultimately, this is about how people meet in their own rooms of their own communities to discuss their own priorities. And these goals are ultimately for each of us to own, to figure out how we make sure we leave no one behind in our own community, and we leave no one behind in the communities we work with. That, to me, is the challenge of our generation, and it's also, to me, the inspiration of a night like tonight. This week we'll be meeting with colleagues who are gathering in a so-called 17 rooms environment to talk not just about 17 goals that add up to the Sustainable Development Goals, but 17 rooms that bring people together to focus on the problems that need to get solved for the issues that are specific for the communities that are grappling with them today. So, in that spirit, I want to encourage all of us to think not just of how we contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals, the cooperation agenda for our generation, but how we contribute to specific development goals. Because the promise to leave no one behind is not just a promise of words. It's a promise to think about specific people facing specific problems in specific places. That's what this organization works so hard to do every day. And that's what all of you are contributing so much to support tonight. And it's what all of us need to work on together to make sure these goals are achieved in Edmonton, in Vancouver, in Canada, and in the world. So I thank you sincerely for having me tonight. I thank you for all you're doing. And I look forward to working with many of you, I hope, to achieve these specific successes in leaving no one behind and in building a better future for all of us by 2030. So thank you.